just flip it over or what? There, oh. Okay, well, oh gosh, I don't know what to do. Thankfully, we are not serving this as actual bread. Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Rocked It or Blocked It. Today I'm going to make a Thanksgiving favorite side dish, stuffing. But since I'm on keto, I can't eat regular stuffing because it has bread that has gluten in it, and so I need to find a gluten-free keto alternative. So I was looking online and I found this recipe. It's called Keto Spicy Sausage and Cheddar Stuffing. And you can find that on alldayidreamaboutfood.com. So this is the first time I've ever made this recipe. We're gonna test it out, make it dairy-free, and see what happens. So this recipe has two parts to it. There's the bread part that we're gonna make today, and then the stuffing part that we're gonna make tomorrow. So, okay, I've just preheated my oven to 425, and the instructions say to find a 10-inch skillet. And I don't have a 10-inch skillet, so I'm gonna use this 9.5-inch pie pan, and I hope that that's tall enough. So we're gonna see. But it says to put our butter in that, and then place it in the oven as it preheats. Okay, next we have a big bowl, and we are going to put our almond flour in, our flaxseed meal, baking powder, and salt. We whisk that together. So it says shredded cheese, 1.5 cups. And I have this cheese that I made that I'm going to put in there. It's dairy-free, and it's made from almonds. Now, in the past, when I tried to shred this, it didn't really work that well because it's not hard like regular hard cheese that you'd buy in the store. So it's a little bit more difficult, but I'll try it. See how it just kind of falls apart? But it does shred, but it doesn't really melt. So putting it on the top of the bread and expecting it to melt is just not going to happen. I already know that. There, I'd say that's about 1.5 cups. Way messier than regular shredded cheese, I understand that. But then we add our 1 cup of shredded cheese and whisk it all together. Next we stir in our eggs and our melted butter, which is melted coconut oil, and the almond milk. And we want to stir that all together till combined. Now we need to remove the skillet from the oven and swirl it around so that the butter is evenly distributed. Next we pour the batter into our pan and then smooth the top. Now right away I see that I have a lot of coconut oil that has kind of floated to the top, I guess. So I don't know if that's going to be a problem, but maybe with butter it wouldn't have been a problem. Maybe I shouldn't have used so much coconut oil. I don't know. Then we're supposed to sprinkle the cheese on the top, which, you know, this stuff really doesn't sprinkle. So I'm just going to blot the cheese on the top. Now it says we need to bake for 16 to 20 minutes or until browned around the edges and set through the middle. The cheese on top should be nicely browned. Set our timer for 16 minutes. Okay, so my bread's been cooling for about 15 minutes and I can touch the pan easily now without getting burned. So I thought I might want to transfer this to some kind of a cooling rack. I don't know if I just flip it over or what. There, oh. Okay, well, no, the inside is not baked. It's still mushy. So that did not go well. I'm not quite sure what to do now. But I need to get it back in the oven. Thankfully, we are not serving this as actual bread. We're gonna chop it up into pieces. So I guess it's okay if it doesn't look pretty. But this is sometimes what happens with this gluten-free bread. You just never know when it's actually done. So it seemed a little doughy in the center when I put the toothpick in, but then in other recipes I have let it bake for too long and then it's rock solid. So sometimes you just have to let it cool and then see if it's actually done. So this clearly is not done yet, so I'm going to put it back in. Okay, it's a 16-minute mark now. So the outsides are super crusty now, and the inside still not quite done. Ugh, I don't know. Okay, we're at the 23-minute mark. Let's see if this is any better. Still kind of soggy in the middle. The outsides are super crispy and dry and probably overdone, but the middle is still not good. Oh gosh, I don't know what to do. It might cook better on a cookie sheet if I just would flatten it out, maybe. Maybe this pan is the problem, because it's going to be in crumbles anyways in our stuffing, so maybe it's not a big deal. I'm just going to spread this out evenly and stick it back in and see if that will work. So I turned the temperature down to about 375 and it's still just not working out. I removed the parchment paper and now I think, I don't know, there's a lot of pieces that are browned, but then the other pieces that aren't browned are still doughy. The only thing this thing is going to be good for is breading. You know, I don't know how you could possibly make a bread out of that. And maybe that's my fault because I tried to substitute coconut oil for the butter. And maybe it's because I didn't have a 10-inch skillet and I used a 9.5-inch pie pan. So I could have totally botched this by trying to substitute things, but I'm trying to redeem myself here, and I want to have something for breading for my Thanksgiving dinner this weekend. So yeah, so I'm just crumbling it up and I'm putting it on a really low heat, 200, and I'm just going to bake it until all this stuff is dried out. Okay, so I'm back with this, well, supposed to be breadcrumbs, right? It finally did dry up. I don't know if this is going to work out or not. I guess we'll have to taste it in the recipe. But what I'm going to do is just let it sit out on the counter overnight, and then tomorrow we will make the rest of the stuffing recipe and put this in there and try it and see what it tastes like. I did something really crazy. I was heating up the oven to put this in it, and I didn't realize that I had my breadcrumbs sitting in the oven that I wanted to make for my stuffing. So they got burnt, so I have to remake this recipe, and yeah. Okay guys, check this out. It's actually done, and I only had it in here about 22 minutes or so. Toothpicks coming out clean. It's not a soupy mess like before. What I think the difference was the pan. And this was just a casserole dish. So for whatever reason, the difference in material, you know, glass versus ceramic, I don't know. If you guys know why that would make such a difference in baking bread, let me know, because I don't know. But anyway, this turned out. So I'm going to let it cool, and then we'll put it on a rack and see what it looks like. Oh, way better. It did not fall apart. See? The bottom looks good. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad that I did this do-over, because now this recipe doesn't look like so much of a failure. But yeah, it must have just been the pan that I used. I don't know. All right, and now for the taste test for our cheesy bread. So I'm just going to cut it open. See if you guys can see inside here. Ooh, that looks pretty. Look at that. Very nice. It looks like bread. Now I'm trying the end piece here, so I don't know how good that will be, but yeah, cheesy bread. I mean, it's not like the most delicious thing I've ever had in my life, but it's okay. I think it needs to go back in the oven because it's still, I mean, it's way better than the last batch by all means. Like, it's 90% better than the last batch, but I don't think it's quite there yet. Okay, so I put the bread back in the oven for about, I don't know, 30 some minutes, almost 40 minutes. And now it's like crunchy, which is fine because we are going to use it for stuffing anyways. So I don't know, but some of it is still kind of soft and squishy on the inside, but I think it'll be okay. And I'm going to put it on the cooling rack here. As I was thinking about the taste, so maybe it was the cheese, maybe we needed more cheese, or maybe it was the kind of cheese. I used my own dairy-free cheese, so maybe it would taste better with regular cheddar cheese. I don't know. Okay, so now I'm back with my cheesy bread that I'm going to use in my stuffing. But we're supposed to cut it into half-inch pieces and put it on a cookie sheet. I've got the oven preheating to 200 degrees. Scoop it up and put it on this baking sheet. That looks like a nice full pan of stuffing breading. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the oven for 2 to 3 hours at 200 degrees. Okay, so here's our ingredients. We need some spicy sausage, so I picked up Jimmy Dean's Hot. Then we have chopped celery, onions, garlic, pepper, and sage, kosher salt, eggs, and instead of heavy cream, I'm trying to make this recipe dairy-free, so I'm substituting coconut cream. Okay, so now I have my sausage in the pan, and I'm just gonna cook this until it's done and then add in the other ingredients. Okay, we're done cooking our sausage. So I'm draining the grease and putting it in our bowl. So we're gonna saute the vegetables and the seasonings in the grease that the sausage was cooking in. Now I'm going to pour our vegetable and seasoning mix into our sausage. Okay, the next step is to add the bread to our sausage mixture and mix that all in together. Okay, that looks pretty well mixed up. Now let's add our eggs. Okay, once that is thoroughly combined, we pour it over the mixture here and just mix everything together. Instead of just making this as a separate side, I'm going to stuff it in the turkey. Okay, so this is the first time I've attempted to stuff a turkey with stuffing. I put a cheesecloth all the way up inside the cavity, and I just take handfuls of stuffing and fill it up. And the reason you want to use a cheesecloth, if you've never done this before, is so that it's easier to get it out when the bird is cooked. You just pull on the cloth and the stuffing comes right out, and then you can just transfer that onto its own plate. I'm glad you guys like this stuff. Hey, if you guys like this video, show me some love. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. You go to the site and make it. All right, that's all for now. See you guys later.